Hello people, I'm Tommy, and I'm what you would call a free thinker, because in this day and age, everyone is just mere cattle to their corporate overlords, but not me. You see, I only own 3 versions of Skyrim, which is actually lower than the national average.
As the years go by, a video game slowly becomes less and less accessible. Some games are just stuck on older pieces of hardware and left to rot. But one day, the planets align, and that game is given a second chance at life. Now this can come in many forms. Sometimes it's just a direct port of the original, sometimes it's just upscaled for modern hardware, and sometimes the developers go above and beyond and try to make this new version of the game an experience so much better that there's no reason to play the original. Today, we'll take a look at option 3 and see some examples of games that can be considered quote-unquote obsolete. Kirby Superstar, it's got 8 games in one. This game has so much you can do in it and is considered one of the SNES greats. But can you play as Meta Knight? I don't think so. Kirby Superstar Ultra for the Nintendo DS. Hal looked at the original and said, 8 games, what are we bitches? King DDD's got a mask, we're f***ing crazy. It has everything Superstar had, but improved upon everything. New games like Revenge of the King, a harder version of one of the other games, Spring Breeze, and Meta Knight Ultra, where you run through the entirety of Superstar Ultra, but as the character Meta Knight. Other additions include 2 new versions of the arena, one harder variant, and the other where you play as the helpers in the game. With all these new additions, there isn't much of a reason to play the original Superstar over Ultra. Some people may say they don't like the updated graphics or new 3D cutscenes, but other than that, Superstar Ultra is the superior way to play Kirby Superstar. Now, one studio that absolutely loves to update their games is Atlus, specifically with the Persona series. Why play Persona 5 when you can play Persona 5 Royal? Why play Persona 4 when you can play Persona 4 Golden? Why play Persona 3 when you've got Persona 3 FES and Persona 3 Portable? All these games add additional content. Persona 5 Royal gives you another palace, Persona 4 Golden gives you like 5 different endings, and Persona 3 Portable gives you a female character, while Persona 3 FES gives you an entire 25-hour-long epilogue.
Yes, a 25-hour-long epilogue that is dog shit.
Still, there is so much these games add that's hard to go back to the originals. Yes, some changes can make the game easier. Persona 5, for example, went from a fairly easy game to a super easy game in the conversion, but the added story, characters, and gameplay makes it a much better buy for a newcomer into the series. Another way a game can be rendered obsolete isn't due to added content, it can be just from simply changing the controls. Gravity Rush, the first ever winner of the TGs, originated on the PlayStation Vita. And can anyone else smell a gimmick? Because this one reeks. You aim the Vita to where you want to go. Playing this game after experiencing how well the game plays on console is jarring. Like said before, it just comes off as extremely gimmicky than a good control layout. Gravity Rush, I love you, but stick to the PS4 remastered version for the best experience for both your time and your hands. I'm also placing Kid Icarus Uprising here because despite it being a really good game, after you play it, you'll never be physically able to play another video game again. So please remaster this game like Gravity Rush, I'm begging you. Games focused heavily on online play rely on developers keeping them alive. Once a studio pulls the plug on a game's servers, yeah, it's donezo. In terms of games like Club Penguin, after the servers were shut down, fans tried to bring it back, with a decent amount of success. Disney got the game shut down and the police were involved. Oh yeah, and Flash was shut down, so that was the final nail in the coffin for the criminal empire that was Club Penguin rewritten. In terms of online games like Overwatch, after that game shut down, you could play Overwatch 2 for free with it, but honestly, these things are as pricey as a belly button lint, so now instead, you've got a new knife to make a peanut butter sandwich with. The examples being shown have really glamorized remakes and remasters as the superior choice when playing games. Now, is this always the case?
F***ing no!
In certain cases, we've got games that claim to be the new, refined, definitive edition Sonic Genesis on the Game Boy Advanced. I am pretty sure this game's existence violates the Geneva Convention. Sometimes remakes and remasters are hastily stitched together for a quick buck. The Silent Hill HD collection, oh boy, back when this thing came out, people were pissed. Bugged to all hell, poor graphics for something declaring itself as the high-definition version of Silent Hill 2, and the lack of care from the developers make this one of the most heinous acts in gaming.
But I'm not a Silent Hill kind of guy, so as long as a franchise I like is constantly good, we'll be fine. Nope. No. Nope. Not doing this. Not today. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Goodbye. No. I'm not doing this. Not today. Not fine.
Grand Theft Auto, the trilogy, the definitive edition, is bad and is absolutely the worst way to experience GTA. These games were developed by Grove Street Games, who, according to their own website, states, Grove Street Games has grown to be a leader in the industry by taking smart risks and fostering creativity to develop the world's greatest games to millions of players. And you know what? They're right. The creativity of taking 3 PS2 Xbox era games and the smart risks of taking said games and making them bad, and the world's greatest games, all you've made were ports! And yes, this studio was also responsible for the mobile port of GTA San Andreas that went on to be the console release on Xbox 360 and PS3, so their sins on the Grand Theft Auto franchise have existed for years. Anyway, this game looks bad, feels bad, and it makes me sad. Yes, today these models don't look that good, but they were incredible for the era. What is this? What's this? Ryder has scoliosis? This is asinine. Waste of resources and time. This game was obsolete the day it was released. So in conclusion, we've seen games that are useless, unneeded, and have superior versions. But does that mean you're not allowed to play them? No. It is perfectly fine to play older or quote-unquote inferior versions of a game. In fact, sometimes that's the more accessible option. You could go out of your way to hunt down a DS and then track down a copy of Kirby Superstar Ultra, or you could just play the SNES version on the Switch with the online. There is never a wrong way to experience a game. You can play the original versions of Persona. You can play Gravity Rush on the Vita. You could play the Grand Theft Auto trilogy. You'd be brain dead after playing, but the option exists. There are good games, bad games, kitchen utensils, but there is no wrong way to play a game.
So many options, and no wrong way to play them. In fact, as I was talking about this exact topic, I bought a 4th version of Skyrim. Oh God. I'm a sheep.